Stretching over 80 miles, running through hills, dales, rivers and mountains, Hadrian's Wall is a wonder of the ancient world.
You get an idea of the sheer size and scale of this gargantuan achievement.
It signalled the edge of one of the greatest empires the world has ever known.
Here we've got the second in command of a Roman century of 80 men.
Armed with my trusty walking boots, I'm going to travel along the entire length of this iconic monument.
Now, this section here is known as the heart of Hadrian's Wall.
Through rain,
Absolutely chucking it down.
and shine,
If someone painted that view and showed you it, you wouldn't believe them.
I'll learn the secrets of the Roman Empire,
If you needed a number 2, this is where you came.
to the best kept secrets of the great British countryside.
Wow!
Meeting many folk along the way.
Sit, keep up, Robson.
Sorry, mate. That's amazing!
Hello.
It'll be an epic journey to take your breath away.
Oh, wow. I'm not a religious person, but there is something spiritual about this part of the world.
So pack your corn plasters, fill your thermos, and join me for the walk of a lifetime.
The Romans, they gave us it all.
I'm beginning my epic journey in the northeast of England. Born and bred a Northumberland lad, this is literally my favourite place in the world. I mean, just look at it.
The northeast, like the River Tyne, runs through my veins. And I'm very proud still to call it home. It's had so many stories to tell in its past. And there is one world-famous tale about a world-famous creation that never ceases to amaze me.
No, it's not Gaza. It is, of course, Hadrian's Wall. One of the greatest feats in construction history. For me, this wonder wall is up there with the Great Pyramids and the Panama Canal. Almost 2,000 years old, the wall is one of Britain's most awe-inspiring historic landmarks and remains a lasting testament to the skill and ambition of the Roman Empire.
Do you know, I was never a fan of history at school, but my lovely English teacher reminded me of the importance of telling stories, because that's all history is. It's stories from the past. And I couldn't think of anything better than travelling along Hadrian's Wall, set against the backdrop of some of the most beautiful countryside on the planet. Mind you, it's easier said than done. 84 miles. That's over 3 marathons. And I ain't getting any younger. So I've got a feeling it's not going to be easy. But when has anything worthwhile ever been easy?
Just ask the Romans. My adventure starts at the most easterly end of the wall, or Wall's End as it's known round these parts. Here lies Segedunum, meaning strong fort. Believe it or not, it's an area I know pretty well.
In the 80s, I lived over there for 5 years. I was a draftsman for Swan Hunters Shipbuilders, as part of the design team. I mean, this was a hive of activity. Used to employ 25,000 men and women. And during my time over there was a bit of a commotion going on over here. So one day I wandered over to see what all the fuss was about. And what they discovered was one of the most famous frontiers in the entire Roman Empire.
Built as a bastion against barbarian attack, Segedunum stood for almost 300 years as a symbol for Roman rule. And little did I know, I'd be back here 34 years later to begin my journey along the wall. So come on, time to pack.
Tent, sleeping bag, flask, check, tea, check. Right, just one more thing to do before I set off, and then we're away. So, to prove to the world and myself that I have completed the Hadrian's Wall journey, I have a Hadrian's Wall passport. And it needs stamping at this stamping station. It's Segedunum. So this is the stamping box right here. Ooh. Hello lads.
Hey, how you
Hello.
doing?
You starting off as well?
No, we're just finishing.
Oh seriously, you just finished?
Yeah,
How was it?
awesome.
It was,
Absolutely awesome.
yeah, really was. But
Yeah.
it was hard work.
Right, well you've just finished and I'm about to start. So let's get the passport stamped.
These guys did it in 6 days. I'm not sure I can match that,
Yep.
but I'll give it a good go.
Thank you.
Hey, it's lovely to meet you.
And you.
And I
Good
hope
luck.
to see you some sunny day.
Good luck.
Take care. Luck. I need all the luck I need. I don't even know if I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah, you are.
I've done a calculation. Over 88,000 paces to go. Just put one foot in front of the other and start walking.
When you think you can't do it anymore, do another one.
I'll be travelling from east to west, collecting my passport stamps as I go, and I'll end my journey, I hope, at Bowness-on-Solway. On the first leg of my expedition, I'm heading to my hometown of Hexham. Time to leave behind the city of Newcastle, and with any luck leave these roads, and make my way out into the beautiful countryside. Every year, around 100,000 people visit Hadrian's Wall. And completing the journey along the length of it is on many hikers' bucket list. Whereas it's on my, just hope I can survive this list. Hopefully, bits of bands with other walkers will help keep the old spirits up.
Our other half of the family's from right up north. That's where you get depressed sheep, up north. It's horrid. Cows up north attack you for entertainment. Here they welcome you.
Now, many walkers aren't from around these parts, so the local accent can be a tad challenging.
Someone walked past me the other day and said to me, and I just laughed because I wasn't sure what language they were talking.
The Northumbrian accent is very like this, you know, they talk like that, my father. My father used to talk like that. You see, as well, my dad, about aftershave, my dad would go, "That's a nice perfume you've got on there. That's a nice perfume." And he's my father went, "Dad, I don't know what you're saying. And you're my dad."
Since leaving Wallsend, I haven't seen much wall, which is no surprise. Since it was built, less than 10% of it remains in place. Now where the heck it's gone, I have no idea. However, stick with me, as I'm gonna make sure I find out. I'm on an epic adventure along the illustrious Hadrian's Wall. Day 1, Robson's log. After starting in Wallsend, I've travelled 17 miles. Wall witnessed so far, hardly a bloomin' brick to be honest. But it's been a pretty trek nonetheless, and I'm about to be rewarded with a whopping bit of wall.
Whew. There you go, that's more like it. This is heading on the wall. This is the longest unbroken section of Hadrian's Wall that's at its original width. The amount of material that's required to build a wall that's 10 foot wide, 15 foot high and 80 odd miles long, the material has to be staggering. I mean, it's mind-boggling. It took 15,000 soldiers 6 years to build. So not only was the Roman army a formidable fighting force, they were highly skilled craftsmen, you know, specializing in masonry, engineering, architecture.
Now, like most people, I've always thought the Romans built the wall to stop the barbaric Scots from attacking. But I've heard there are those who reckon the wall was created for economic reasons, believing that the small forts along the wall, known as mile castles, acted as customs posts.
Alex, how are you?
It's a theory that's supported by local tour guide, Alex.
In my opinion, I think Hadrian was a narcissist. I personally think he built this wall solely to put the fear of God into the people who surrounded it and lived alongside of it. I think it was pure psychological warfare, and I think it scared people for 300 years.
The wall is here, it's to control the area, and the economics can actually be seen in the wall itself. And some mile castles only have 8 guys stationed there. Some have 32. So the ones with 32 are trading posts. When the natives are coming through the wall, what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to tax them.
What sort of things would they be bringing through?
So we're likely seeing lots of foodstuffs,
Yeah.
and we are seeing lots of cattle. And we know in the post-Roman period, the economy of northern Britain is entirely based on cattle. We'd lose a coin-based economy and it becomes a cattle-based economy.
And all these things you're saying
Yeah.
would be taxed?
Yeah, there's evidence there's just a 25% tax on
Really?
things coming through the wall, yeah.
Nothing's changed, Alex.
Yeah.
So if I had 4 cows and I was travelling south, and by the time I passed the wall, I'd only have 3.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Love your knowledge. You're lovely to be alongside.
Hi.
Take care. I've got
Brilliant.
about 84,000 paces to go before I get to my
84,000?
before I get to my destination.
If Alex is right, then that challenges everything we think we know about the wall. Now, I know I'm no scholar or anything, but I still think it was a big old vanity vehicle for Hadrian. I mean, talk about overcompensating. Come on.
I think it's time for a nice long soak. Sadly, I don't have a shower. Certainly don't have a hot tub. But what I do have is Northumberland's largest bath.
Considered the best salmon river in England, the beautiful River Tyne has always played an important role in my past.
You know, Mum and Dad used to bring us here so many times as a family. It's where me and my brother were taught to swim. My dad had a really interesting method. He'd just throw us both in, and it was either sink or swim. And I tell you what, slight hypothermic shock really focuses the mind. Me and my brother used to come out of the water like Polaris missiles, like motorboats. I tell you, it was a method that worked. See the dust come off my sock.
I still go for a spot of cold water swimming in the Tyne, but be warned, it's not for the faint-hearted.
You know what to say. Bless the British and all that.
Woo!
Tell you what, this is just what you need after a long, hot day. It's a well-known fact, doing something like this reduces stress. Do you know, a lot of people keep asking me, why do you live up north? What is it about Northumberland? Take a wild guess.
And I'll give you a clue. It's not me in me pants.
Woo!
The next morning, I'm up and at 'em early as I hurdled 10 miles along the wall. And let me tell you, it was quite a journey.
Oh, hello.
First off, I bumped into a couple of Kiwi walkers who were clearly big fans.
I'm Robson, by the way. Robson Green.
Of course.
How you doing?
Sorry, I'm none the wiser.
How rude. I then fell in line with some local soldiers who were out training.
Sit, keep up, Robson.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Unfortunately, they couldn't quite keep up with my pace, so I ditched them.
Oh, stop running, Robson. Just amble. Can't feel my legs.
Feet fatigued, I hopped on a bike to speed things along, impressing the locals with my cycling skills.
Jerry, buckle up. We're about to hit warp speed.
Saddle sore, I sacked off the bike and back to the hike. The crew were delighted, but sadly not everyone was pleased to see me.
Steady, I come in peace. I come in peace. Steady. Dogs don't like me. I think I've seen some of my shows.
And that's brought you up to speed. Shall we proceed? Back when the wall was built, Romans would navigate using the lay of the land and nature. Simple things like moss could help guide them, as it grows where the sun doesn't shine. So in the northern hemisphere, moss lives on the north side of trees, revealing which way is north and which is south. Of course, nowadays navigation has moved on somewhat, and I've heard some people use GPS to hunt for treasure along the wall.
Paul!
Robson, how are you doing?
I'm fine, how are you doing on this
I'm doing very well,
overcast
thank
day
you.
in
How are you
Northumberland?
enjoying your walk?
Oh, you know, fair to miserable. No, it's fine, it's gorgeous.
Excellent.
So Paul, are you going to help me find buried treasure so I can be rich beyond my wildest dreams?
I'll certainly try and help you
Thank
find the
goodness
buried
for
treasure,
that.
but
Thank
being
goodness
rich is another matter.
So, geocaching.
Indeed.
You're going to have to excuse my ignorance. Never heard of it, don't know what it is.
It originated in the States about 20 years ago, in 2000.
Really?
Yeah, where a guy decided, well, you know, GPS is becoming popular these days, let's test them. So it was a Tupperware container with a few sort of trinkets in, gave out the coordinates for it, grid reference, and people started finding it. To get to the actual geocache, we're going to use an app.
So do I just tap on
So
it?
we'll tap on the geocaching app.
Yeah. What, are they all geocaches? All those little dots? Wow, there's thousands of them.
There's absolutely millions worldwide. So, as luck would have it, there's one very close to us.
Certainly is.
We can see it's beside the church. So if we just turn around, we know the church is right behind us.
Yeah.
That arrow should be pointing in the direction we need to go.
Certainly is.
And let's just head off.
Come on.
It tells us that it's 113 metres. This app will only get you to within a few metres of it.
Right.
You do then have to do a little bit of work.
What, just a little bit of
Pretend
detective
you're a
work?
detective.
I played many a detective in my time. Oh yes, I'm playing Geordie Keaton in Grantchester. I played Cregan in Touching Evil. I was a forensic detective in Wire in the Blood. So this should be it. This should be a cinch.
As you can see, we're closing in on it.
It's just like an Easter egg hunt, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's just another version of that.
So we're now looking for something out of place.
Well, there's a huge rock there. I mean, that's gonna
Potentially
take
the
a
kind
blooming
of
hell
thing
oh,
we're
hang
looking
on, there's
for.
something behind it. There's something. Yes!
Oh, well
That's
done,
it.
well done. Your
That's
very
great.
first geocache.
That's amazing. It just brings the kid out of you, doesn't it? What we got here? There is money in it.
Money.
Oh, is this a Roman silver coin? But that's an old French franc, because it's euros now.
Here was me hoping for Roman coins and ancient trinkets. I feel a little foolish.
So what else we got in here?
Somewhere there should be something you can sign and date.
Really? Well, what do you know? Oh, I see. Oh, people who found it, they sign it and they date it. I love it. Imogen's been here, Jess has been here, and Hopper's been here. Hopper's found it. Oh, that's great. Robson was here. 20.
So that's everything put back in there, and we'll
Right,
put it back
gotcha.
ready for the next people.
But let's be honest, it's not what you call treasure, is it, Paul?
It's not treasure.
You know, economically, it's not life-changing,
In
is it?
monetary terms, it's not treasure.
Okay, let's see what the next
We'll
one
see if we can
brings.
find another one.
Trying to get my bearings
Yeah.
here. It's moving from
Well,
left to right.
We've got an extra clue on this one. We've got a hint. So if we click on hint,
Yep.
and the hint here is that the cache is wedged between an ash tree and a hawthorn.
Oh, I know what an ash tree looks like and a hawthorn.
Good man.
We're getting warm, Paul, we're getting warm.
Yeah.
We're on a treasure hunt. How you going? I'm travelling along Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, we're going the other way.
Have you heard about this thing called geocaching? Oh, mate, isn't it great? I love it. Yeah, Paul's just introduced me to it. We've just found 100 quid.
Yeah, right.
What? I wish. No, we found a note with loads of names on it. But Paul promises me the next treasure we find is going to be of more value. Lovely to meet you. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. We're very close.
Less than 50 metres.
Right. Well, that's a giant ash there.
That's not quite right.
It says it's jammed in between the two.
Jammed in between the two.
And oh, hello. There's stones there.
There's one or two stones, yeah.
Yes!
Aha! Well done. Second one of the day.
Let me have a look. Ah, the book, a
The
little
book.
book with people's names in. Somebody called Blue Flash has been here. So this was all filled in years ago. I love it.
Good, it's good fun.
Good stuff, Paul.
You're very welcome.
Put it back from... Oh, I love it, Paul.
Great.
I'm in. Hook, line and sinker.
Good man. I knew you'd enjoy it.
I am now a geocacher.
Indeed you are.
It's been a hell of a day. I reckon a wee tea time treat is in order. And I know the perfect picnic spot. Let's just hope I can find it.
It's like being in the movie The Fog. And I'm ascending into the abyss, never to be seen again. Oh, great. It started raining as well. God. Do you know what it is? I think Northumberland's got its own microclimate. Honest. There were views this morning as far as the eye could see. Now you can't see 40 feet in front of you. It's a fog.
Now you're going to have to trust me when I say there are, usually, views to die for here.
Mind you, did I take a wrong turning somewhere and end up in Norway? I packed myself a ham sandwich. I just need to add something to it. And when you've got something like this, you have to have Northumberland's equivalent to hummus. Peas pudding. Was my mum and dad always correct me. It's peas pudding, Robson, it's peas pudding. What's happened to your accent, man? It's peas pudding, man. Put it on your bread, put some butter on, and then put your peas pudding on, you daft knacker. He loved me, my dad. He really did. Lots of chickpeas boiled in ham stock. But this stuff, I assure you, is stunning. Tell you, my mum and dad used to say when they give me this, it's like eating Christmas. It really is. I came here for peace and quiet. It's like being in Piccadilly Circus. In the fog. Where am I? Come to here to celebrate the views of Northumberland. I can't see a thing. Used to do this loads with mum and dad, or my brother and my sisters. Topics of conversation were never stressful. It was never about work or money worries. Oh, that'll keep me going for another few hours. Ham and peas pudding. You can't beat it. Well, you can actually. Eating mess is nice. I've had that, like meringues.
I'm taking a trip along Hadrian's Wall, a mission I've been meaning to make for years. And I'm not the only one. Visitors from all over the world come to soak up the wall's historic mystique. Back in the early 80s, a chance visit to the wall inspired author J.R.R. Martin to write Game of Thrones. So who knows what the wall will inspire me to do? Since leaving Segedunum, I've journeyed 21 miles. I've walked, swam, ran and cycled, and now en route to an old Roman garrison town.
History is everywhere in the villages and towns around here. And especially the place I'm heading for now, Corbridge. Not so long ago, there was something discovered there that was a real game changer.
Half a mile west of the beautiful village of Corbridge lies Corbridge Roman town. Dating back to AD 79, it was also known as the Roman settlement of Corstopatum. Local tour guide Paul is an expert on this amazing ancient site.
Go on then, Paul. Paint me a picture of what life was like nearly 2,000 years ago in this centre of Corbridge.
This, what you're seeing here, is the bustle, hustle of the town, really. It was a cosmopolitan town in that particular period. And there's lots of shops and various businesses all over the place. And this would have been teeming with people. And what's interesting is that before the town was built in 160, the road heading up to Edinburgh, we used to miss the town out, or the forts out, you go straight up. But about 160, 170, when this became a town where it was a commercial operation, that road was rerouted through the middle of the town. Right. So they wanted the travellers to make sure they came through these commercial units to buy their goods. So really, this is
a bit like the airports today, isn't it? They're forcing you through there for the duty-free stuff,
when you go through the duty-free, that's actually good way of describing it, actually. That's exactly what they're doing. They're sending you down through this road, because then you can see the goods and the wares. And these are Roman military granaries. This is where the food stores would be. So these are some of the best preserved in the world, because of the fact that you can see a lot of the stone flooring. If you look, you see you've got the aeration holes underneath, so this is where the air comes through. You can see some holes through the sides of the wall there, so the air comes through and then under the floor. So that's to keep the foodstuffs dry, because if it's on the floor, it's going to get pretty damp.
So here I am, 2,000 years ago. I come shopping in Corbridge. I've got my bag of grain, and I'm after some fruit and some veg, a bit of meat, fancy a bit of beef and chicken, maybe there's a duck.
Yeah.
Would that all have been here?
Absolutely, and more besides. You know, there would be all sorts. There would be pottery, herbs, spices, beer. There would be taverns. Imagine this in the middle of the day. You know, there would be shops and wares. There would be selling their goods. There would be shouting. There would be people milling around, buying things.
It's just another version of you and I walking down Eldon Square, Newcastle.
It is. It's a shopping centre.
So these are shops all the way along here, some of them selling food stuff, some of them selling cloth and materials. I heard a vicious rumour that carrots came from the Romans. I don't believe it.
Well, they were introduced to Britain by the Romans.
What, they were?
They were not here. They introduced rabbits, which is quite commonly known as well.
Was it a place of rest and relaxation?
Yeah, there's
people come here to let their hair down?
So Roman soldiers, we don't think got regular leave, but they could apply for leave. But they would be coming through here quite often. They would be quite keen to come here.
I'm sure they were, because they weren't allowed to marry, were they?
They weren't.
So they would have come here for not only, you know, a few carrots and a few apples and oranges, but something else. I'm not going to say any more.
There's places of ill repute here. You're absolutely right.
There was. Sorry, there was. So basically, in the daytime, it's like Newcastle is.
It's like a big market in Newcastle.
But it's like the big market in Newcastle in the evening.
Absolutely. Even in the daytime, it could be quite noisy and raucous.
Were they gambling and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of gambling. They didn't play cards. Cards didn't really exist in Roman times. It was more dice and board games, quite elaborate, but they would bet on this. Possibly sometimes, boxing and wrestling matches, which would be bet on as well.
It was the Roman equivalent of Las Vegas. I guess it is, with the boxing and the gambling that still goes on there today.
Absolutely.
And talking of striking it lucky, back in the 1960s and 70s, this site was an archaeological training location for students at Durham and Newcastle University. Every summer, trainee archaeologists would come here to dig. And in 1964, one student hit the jackpot, making an amazing discovery. A well-preserved leather and metal-clad wooden box, full of everyday Roman artifacts.
The most important thing that really, from a historical point of view, is the segmented armour, as you can see here. So that's the old rusty stuff there is what they found in the box. And on the left-hand side, you can see the reconstruction, but that's massively important because prior to this being discovered in 1964, historians knew that this type of armour existed, but they didn't know specifically what it looked like, how it was made, how it was held together, how it was worn. And by finding these six elements that they have here, they can now accurately reconstruct that. And when you see modern legionary armour in modern films today, like Gladiator or many other modern films, then it would have been based on this find. Without this find being here, they would have been guessing.
I mean, just looking at it, it's such an eclectic mix of things. You think if it all belonged to a soldier, yes, you've got the armaments then, you've got the weaponry here, but it looks like there's kind of practical digging tools here, and there's a container for carrying water.
When you say carrying water, that was probably a beer tankard. It looks rather big. But actually beer tankards were, in fact, some of the beer tankards were collective. All the men would drink out of one big cup. This man was either a soldier or a skilled craftsman attached to the army. He's left this behind, which at that time would be really unusual. He's had to do it for a particular reason, either because it was too difficult to carry and he never came back, or there was an impending attack and he was worried about the security of it. And of course, he may well have been killed. We'll never know, but this person, this was his life in a box. Most hoards are quite glamorous things like a big pile of coins. And to have this sort of stuff particularly is incredibly rare. And the person, this trainee archaeologist who found this is a find of a lifetime.
Do you know, you've given me an idea. You know, doing this journey, I think I might bury my own time capsule.
Well, why not?
Hoping, you know, someone maybe in 2,000 years' time might find it.
Absolutely. And then it could be in a case in a museum somewhere. And I wonder who put those items in that box.
Robson Green, who was he?
In order to pick up some treasures to put in my time capsule, I popped along to modern-day Corbridge. And while I'm mooching around the shops, I make my own amazing discovery.
What, how you doing?
Yeah, how are you?
You haven't changed a bit.
My very dear old work colleague, Ray.
But you're pleased you didn't take my advice.
Yeah, it kind of worked out okay. How you doing?
Fine, fine.
My God, Ray. So we worked in the drone office, what, from 82 to 86, was it? At Swans?
Can't remember now.
Oh, I can. My goodness, how you been?
I just got me, well, the daughter said, hey, there's Robson Green, because she worked in shop in Swans as well.
I'm travelling along the full length of Hadrian's Wall, and we started, it's Segedunum.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they were unearthing
Yes,
that, when we were in the shipyard? Remember
yeah.
all the fuss was going on? My God, it's so good to see you, man.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you.
I'm pleased we've had a word.
Yeah, I remember you say, you know, shipbuilding's a job for life. Oh dear me, what happened to the shipyard, eh? It's a car park now, isn't it?
Yeah. Where have all those men gone?
I know, but the skills are still there, and I think, you know, it'll come back.
Oh, well.
It will come back, and see, there's fabrication going on further down the Tyne, so there's always hope, isn't there? Yeah. Soon after I left, the shipyard closed, didn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, if this all falls apart, this game, I'll be back and being a naval architect,
Anyway,
definitely.
it's lovely seeing you.
You too. Good to see you, Rick. Oh my God. He was lovely. He was my man. That's Ray. I worked with him in 82 to 86. He was such a lovely man. He's very, very kind to me in the shipyard. And when I said I wanted to be an actor, he said, just do what makes you happy, Robson. Oh, that really got me.
Well, I really wasn't expecting that. This journey really is becoming an experience that's good for the soul. And the old calf muscles.
As you travel around this area, you soon realise that 95% of Hadrian's Wall has disappeared. Or has it? It's just been moved elsewhere. All you have to do is look for it.
And there are clues to finding where it's hiding, like this beautiful Northumbrian village, which is simply called Wall. A conservation area and a place of special historic interest, Wall is home to 320 residents, including Gary, who has a real passion for both this wall and the wall.
Which particular buildings within the village of Wall are from Hadrian's Wall?
This is all Hadrian's Wall.
What?
Every which way you look.
Really?
Yeah. This is the wall, recycled.
So how did it all happen? How did it all start?
There was a general called General Wade back in the 18th century. He then was the guy responsible for the government forces who then had to take on the Jacobites. And they'd come up to Newcastle expecting to see them there, but they were on the other side of the country. They were over at Carlisle, and they held Carlisle Castle. So they've got to drag all their cannon and everything else across the country. And believe it or not, in 1745, there wasn't a proper road between Newcastle and Carlisle. So General Wade goes, we need a road here, we need a road.
So obviously General Wade needed material to build his road.
And that's it. Some bright spark says, well, hang on a minute. You know that old wall that the Romans had?
Why don't we just pull that over, create a track bed for a road? But then at that time, other people are going, hang on a minute, there's a lot more you can do than build a road. I can build a house with that.
Cool.
And so that's it. So people then start going to help themselves with bits of stone from the wall, and hence you get this.
So literally every building in the village of Wall is made from Hadrian's Wall.
Yes.
Don't tell me that wall there of Wall is made from Hadrian's Wall.
That wall, that dry stone wall, is made of Hadrian's Wall. You could easily find the telltale signs because those nice square stones that you would see on the outside of the wall are stones like this. Look how that's squared off. So yes, so people have utilised every little bit they can find.
How on earth did they get it here, Gary? Horse and cart?
I think you can take it that they were just a lot tougher in those days. Look at this wall here. Come on, come on. Look at those lovely square stones.
Oh, go on.
See, you admire them, yeah.
And all this here. That's obviously Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, nice bit of wall there.
Desperate to get a sneaky peek inside one of Wall's wall-made houses, Gary lets me have a wee gander inside his.
This is it. This is just one of many time capsules in Northumberland. I mean, straight away, you can see that stone lintel in the fireplace. That's definitely from Hadrian's Wall. So that's Hadrian's Wall underneath there. And they say at one time Hadrian's Wall was whitewashed, so you could see it from miles around. So everything in here is, right, nearly 2,000 years old. And if it's looked after and taken care of, it'll probably last another 2,000 years.
While Wall might not have the most original name, it's certainly a canny-looking little village. So far, I'm surviving my epic jaunt along Hadrian's Wall.
I've been walking for about an hour. There's not another soul in sight. And just when I thought the views of Northumberland couldn't get any better, well, you just look at that. When I walk like this, with a backdrop like that, it really is difficult to be unhappy. I'm so blessed. I do love this place.
Having tackled the hills and dales in sunshine and, of course, rain, I'm coming to the end of the first leg of my Hadrian's Wall adventure. From my start point in Segedunum at Wall's End, I've clocked up 35 miles to reach my birthplace, Hexham, where I still live today. And this historic town has quite a past.
You know, it wasn't so long ago that the Scots came here and burnt this place to the ground. And a while back, the 3rd Duke of Somerset, he was publicly executed in the marketplace just up the way.
Thankfully these days, the gallows have been replaced with a farmer's market. And I'm going to stock up on a few provisions for the next leg of my journey.
I'm camping along the wall, alongside the wall. What would you recommend?
On a stove, I would recommend pork and apple burgers every time. They're nice and flat, so you're going to cook through.
And can I nab a few sausages?
Of course you can.
Succulent sausages. Did you know that the Romans brought carrots to this country?
Did they?
You did. And did you know they brought apples as well? Do you know what? I'll have a couple of sticks of rhubarb. Do you know, I used to do this as a kid. Used to cut the ends and just dip it in sugar. It used to be bouncing off the ceiling.
Nice selection of pies you got here.
I'm torn between the beef and Guinness and the chili beef. If you had to choose between those two, which one would you have? Do you know what? I'm going to have the beef and Guinness. Thank you very much.
I said that without moving.
Muckle Brewing.
So Muckle is a Northumbrian dialect.
I know.
For mighty.
For big and strong. My dad used to say, pass me that muckle hammer there. Muckle hammer. I'm going to take your steer on this. Tell me your favourite and I shall buy it.
Okay. My husband, who brews, would tell you the last one he drank was his favourite.
Right.
However, I know that both of our favourite is this one, Pride of Park Pale Ale.
Sold.
Just the actual wall with part of Sycamore Gap and a representation of the wall going down there.
This is a spatula of Hadrian's Wall.
Yes, yeah.
And it has my favourite place. I've got to have that. That is going to be one of the best souvenirs on my journey. Isn't that lovely? This is me travelling along the wall.
Especially exhausting, that one over there.
As I'm at my hometown, it seems a fitting place to bury my wall adventure time capsule.
Across the babbling brook. Yeah, this looks a good spot. Right, let's see what gems I've brought. Just wait till somebody finds this lot. Eh? Let's have a look at this. Lovely Hadrian's Wall walk. Fridge magnet? Well, I like it. And there's a little tile here with the Latin carpe diem, which means seize the carp. And a postcard of the Roman equivalent of Las Vegas. All right, let me have a think. Oh. Perfect. Right, so just wrote a little ditty on the back of the Corbridge postcard. There was a young actor called Robson who was told, "Your next job, son, is to walk Hadrian's Wall. I hope you don't fall. It'll be a success and with knobs on." Hey? Now, I know you're thinking, oh yeah, not very valuable though, is it? Yeah. But if you add 20 big ones on top of that, oh yeah, now you're interested, aren't you? Oh yeah. Just under there.
Capsule carefully hidden away. Hopefully it'll be discovered hundreds of years from now. So no go hunting for it, you lot.
They love that. 20 big ones.
To celebrate successfully completing the first leg of my Hadrian's Wall adventure, my weary wee feet are taking a final few paces to a pub just outside Hexham for a well-deserved pint.
Can I buy you a drink?
Well, I think we should offer you one, Robson.
No, I've given up on all wines, beers and spirits, sadly, yeah. But I'll have a sherry. Hey, hey! No, I've given up on drinking. It's been the worst 10 minutes of my life. Come on, I'm here all week. I need the money. Anyway, lovely to meet you.
Forgive the bad dad gags. It's just 'cause I'm knackered. Honest.
Look at that. What more do you want? Beautiful view, pint, next to this lovely pub. What a first few days it's been. History everywhere. Literally everywhere. I thought I knew everything there was to know about Northumberland. How wrong I was. And luckily, there's more to come.
Next time, I'll be trying to stay on 2 feet.
You alright, bud? Stop laughing.
And I make my very own discovery.
I think I found something. Feels like metal.